alive. Am I live? Am I live? I'm alive! What is up, guys? Andrew here, and welcome to Comicbooker. All things comics from a creator. So, here we are in this cover that will never end because it's just taking so long. But I have see these things called super layer here. I've basically done the outlines for each group of superhero. I counted about 88 characters on this one page, so I just need to get all the flat colors in, which is sort of what I'm doing right now. So I just finished this guy, Grasshopper, over here. This guy's Grasshopper. This guy is the Bandager. This is Sunrunner. This over here is Kid Continuum, which is like a kid's superhero story that I did way back when with writer Vincent Bulan. And yeah, they all have names, I think. And if they don't, we're gonna come up with them as we go. So, any case, let's get to it. So what I'm gonna do right now is, because this is so complicated, it's hurting my brain. I'm gonna start switching off some layers until I get to the layer I'm working on with these groups of characters that are in white. And then I have a clipping mask on top to sort of give me sort of an idea of what they look like. And we're gonna start with this lady over here. I think in my last stream, someone named her Anemone. So we're gonna color her like a sea anemone. What is up, hot sauce kiddo? Welcome, welcome. And thank you for the kind words. It's not done. This cover is taking too long. I think, oh my god, this is gonna be super embarrassing. At this point, according to Canvas info, I have spent 45 hours Canvas time on this cover. So, yeah, it's just been taking embarrassingly long. But hey, so many characters. You gotta do them justice, right? Anyway, so let's color up Anemone. I like this one, so we'll go with the Flourish one. So yeah, let's set a base color down here, like that maybe. Yeah, that works for me. And then I'm gonna give her some kind of hair, maybe like this orangish hair. Oh, that works. Let's get back to this flat brush. There we go. I have surprisingly been using a lot of pink on this cover, which I didn't realize I would use a lot of, because I thought I'd be going more traditional colors. But as I go through this, I realize some of these characters are really I don't know, psychedelic, you know. So I don't know, I guess I'm just being truthful to, you know, at a certain point you lose control of the characters, in the sense that you're not crafting them anymore and they're just telling you who they are. So that's sort of where I'm at here. So this is Anemone. She is one of those undersea characters. I have another one here. This lady here is oh my god, I forget her name. I think it's Angelfish. Yeah. That green fire halo is gonna be yellow later on, but I've just kind of threw that green in as a placeholder because it's just clearer to look at. Welcome, Noah Egeman. Agamon. I hope I'm saying your name right. Agamon. Welcome, welcome. I hope you are enjoying your afternoon. Happy Sunday. Yeah, I think this is at the point where it really is starting to like come together. I think it looked really crappy earlier on, but it's inching its way to completion. I'm gonna give her a orangish look here. My thinking with Anemone is she's got like a, I guess a trapper keeper vibe. Pastels. I think she's got blue skin because she's like this underwater creature woman. She's sort of like Jean Grey in my head. You know, the good perfect girl who who goes through a lot of challenges because she's too competent. The curse of competency. Boom. Okay. Let's throw that down there. And I like this stage too because I'm probably gonna be redrawing a bunch of these characters inside the book, but I'm sort of designing them really small and really simple at this stage, which gives me a good base because you know I think superheroes work best when they're recognizable, even if they're super tiny. When they have a color palette that is specific to them, that you know makes them stand out, even in a field of like colorful characters. So this is giving me, you know, a really good. I guess it's giving me a really good group of characters to play with later on. I have a bunch of crazy crowd scenes coming up in the book where I'm gonna need a lot of super characters standing around, and obviously I can't use licensed characters because you know that would get me in legal trouble. So I just have to come up with like a crap ton of characters. So that's what this cover's about. All right, I think we're done with Anemone. She looks good, right? It's gonna look even better when she's when we go into shadows. Hot Sauce Kiddo asks, "Have you read Do a Power Bomb?" Yes. Oh my god, I totally am enjoying that book. That is one of my favorite books right now. Freaking huge fan of Daniel Warren Johnson. I met him at Comic Con. He's super nice in person. He's just as nice as he is in online. And this book is fire. And I have to say, like, Do a Power Bomb. I do not. I'm not a wrestling fan. Um, I was never like a huge. I mean, my friends were into wrestling, but I wasn't. Um, but this, the way he's telling the story, it just sucks me in. I just really, really enjoy it. Okay, here's my Claire and the Witch Boy type character. Oh, and the freaking the art is so good. The storytelling is so good. I think the ending of issue 2 made me gasp audibly. So no spoilers, but it was such a good setup and it paid it off so well. So I'm really in. I'm so excited to see where Do a Power Bomb goes. Uh hey Vandally X, welcome. And Gerald Nayoan. Welcome, welcome. Gerald asks, "Where do you sell your comic?" I don't currently sell my comic. I'm working on that. So this is gonna be the first issue of my new book. I just need to finish this cover so I can get to work on printing it. Question actually, how many of you guys are in the U.S. and how many are abroad? Like, I'm wondering if I should work out a way for people who are not. I probably should. Um, But yeah, I have a plan to, this is my first time. It's not actually technically, but it's my first time self-publishing in the U.S. and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it properly. So I'm gonna try to I'm gonna print this book up by myself, and then I'm gonna um, submit some copies for review in Forbidden Planet and maybe Desert Island Comics if they'll have me. Some other places here in New York, and then I'm talking to someone in the Philippines to see if I can maybe get some books um, sent over there. Maybe sell at wholesale or something like that. It's a whole complicated thing. I am learning as I go. But yeah, so the answer is I'm not selling it yet, but it will be this year. Okay, so it looks like a bunch of you are in the US, so I can probably figure out a way to ship stuff out to you guys. Um, I'll let you know here on the channel. I'll do announcements and stuff like that. I honestly I have not even made like a real I haven't made a real YouTube video in several months. It's all been these lives and shorts. Uh but that's because I'm just so focused on making this as awesome as I can. But I'll do a real video about this when it's time. So this is my magic character. Uh I'm taking submissions for names if you guys are interested in naming this magic dude. He is son of a demon, but he's good. You know, he goes against his nature to fight evil and thwart demonic forces and stuff like that. So anyway, that dude's there. Here is this guy with the weird Aztec alien mask. I think he's called um, the Conqueror. I'm not sure. Vandally is in the Czech Republic. Hey, hey, welcome. Vandally X says, I love watching artists because I want to be an artist and writer one day, so thanks for videos like yours. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I completely encourage it. Making art and making comics has brought so much joy to my life. It's given me so much purpose, and I heartily recommend it if you think you're gonna enjoy it. By all means, dive into it and join us in the dark side. I can't guarantee you'll make a good living out of it, but um, they say follow your passion, right? Um, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was doing this guy. Uh, clipping mask. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. So this guy is an Aztec warrior dude. Silver Phantom LX. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Um, is asking how much are you done with this first book for this comic? So I'm done with 22 pages. Actually, I can probably show them. So these are the thumbnails. I'm up to page 22 over here, at the near the bottom. I am debating whether to cut off the issue at page 22 or to jump into one more scene before I cut it off. So maybe we'll get to 24 pages or 26 pages, but we'll see. We will see, cause I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time to make this. I don't want. So one thing is, it's complicated. I'm in this weird zone where I'm trying to motivate myself to finish a book, which has been hard because my first attempt at this was like 200 pages. Oh my god. I think I showed it in a video, but wait. It's right here. Give me a second. Let me get it. Here. I don't know if you can see, but this is the first attempt at the book. So, uh, this is a lot of thumbnails, my pencil layouts for the whole book, and it was too long. It was too long, and I was disheartened. I think I drew the first 22 pages of this, and I drew it traditionally, and I inked it, and I had up to 6 pages colored, and then COVID happened, and I was like, I can't finish this. I'll never finish this. So I'm trying to do this version of the book, which has been radically changed. I've shortened it. I've changed a lot of characters. I've made it leaner. But I want to finish this book in under 100 pages. So maybe like a 3-issue series. We'll see. But if I'm gonna do that right, I gotta I gotta stop my impulse to like make the story grow bigger and bigger, because it's that kind of story, you know. I'm looking at all these characters and I'm like, oh, this character has a cool story, and this other person has a cool story, and I could do this and this and this, and it's getting out of hand. I don't recommend going too crazy with this stuff. So, whoops, wait, I'm having some technical issues here. Give me a second. Can you hear me? Okay, seems okay. All right. Question from... Wait, where am I? Let me catch up with the chat. Can't wait to buy. Okay, Vandally says, I have a prototype comic of my superhero with 6 pages for one competition, but I didn't win. Hey Vandally, I've been there. I've entered competitions before, and it's been rough here and there, so I feel you. Vandally, so you said since you're in the Czech Republic, it's gonna be tricky to send it to you, but I'm gonna see if I can put together like an online version of the book. And then that way maybe, you know, at least you can read it. Since I don't have all these resources at the moment, until maybe I can figure out a publisher, right? But I don't think a real publisher is gonna happen until we get to whatchamacallit, until we get to the end of the book, until I finish all issues of the book. So yeah, it's gonna be a while. We'll see. Question: what do you do in free time? Are you drawing? Because I sometimes draw in my free time. So I have a real job. So what I'm doing right now is my free time. I work for an art school in Manhattan, and yeah, I work in their office, and I help people. I am also soon going to start teaching. I think this guy is like silver, maybe silver. Let's do silver. Whoop, something like. No, it just feels like a gold thing, right? But maybe a pale gold. I'm also soon gonna start teaching, so I'm gonna start teaching a class for the Pi Art Institute. Starting next week, I'm gonna teach a class on character design, and that's gonna be my first big official foray into teaching. So that's gonna be like every Saturday. I'll probably post about it on Instagram. So yeah, if you guys don't follow me yet, feel free to follow me there. I post the most aggressively on Instagram. Silver Phantom, can we read your 6 pages anywhere? Yeah, Vandally, if you want to share your stuff. You know, when people ask me for advice for aspiring comics creators, I always say friggin' publish your work, make comics and publish your work immediately. Even if you don't think you're ready, because the act of putting your work out there and um, getting feedback and see it's different. When you see your work in the public eye in front of other people, it's just different. You know, you don't it's just different from when you are looking at it on your own and judging it as if you were imagining a reader would judge it. So I recommend that. I think that is like one of the most educational experiences for me. Back in the Philippines, I think I was 19 years old when I started doing a newspaper comic for the Philippine Daily Inquirer. I was doing Sunday comics for this company called Ran on E Games, and they had this Korean game called Ran Online, which was an MMORPG, and they wanted a tie-in comic every Sunday to sort of advertise the game to people, which was which was an interesting challenge I took on. I did that for 5 years. But looking back on the first few, actually, the first few years of that freaking strip, it was very bad. I was learning on the job, and I could see a lot of problems, and I saw the problems as I published myself, and I think you will too. You know what I mean? If you publish your work, and the good thing about that is when you see the problems, you can start working on them. So that's how I got better faster. At least I think that's one of the best ways. Anyway, this guy's done. I think he's called the Conqueror. I'm not sure. This guy, I actually have the notes in the sketches somewhere here, but I can't be bothered to rifle through these crazy amounts of layers. So, Hot Sauce asks, "Can you get Correct Correct Comics on Amazon?" Nope. I am actually also working on republishing Correct Correct Comics. Currently, you can only get in the Philippines, but I'm working on uh, putting together a US edition of it. So, watch out for that. I think by the time I start um, putting together this book, once I put this book out, I have two books that I want to put out. Karakara Comics, that's one. And the other one is this. Oh my god, you guys haven't seen Chip and Dip, right? I don't know if I can. Is it here? Let's see if I can show you guys. I don't know if I have Chip and Dip here. Chip and Dip, Chip and Dip. Oh my god, I gotta clean this up. There's too many files. Comics, 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 comics. Oh my god, I can't find anything. Okay, wait. Chip and Dip comics. Go. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. So this is the third book, which I have yet to put out, but it's called Chip and Dip, and it's these two characters. It's a daily strip I did in 2017. I think I have like 60 strips or something like that. But Chip and Dip is super fun. So I'm gonna have Chip and Dip out at some point. Um, and then I'm gonna have Karakara Comics done. And where's Procreate? There we go. And I will have this book out. This SHA book. So that's gonna be 3 books this year. I think it's a good plan. I think it's gonna be fun. All right. So where was I? Here, this dude with the armor. I think I'm not sure what color his armor is. I think I saw him as like a warrior on another planet. So maybe something tealish. There we go. I hope I'm not overusing that color. Okay, something tealish. And he's like a human dude who gets stuck on another planet, and then he has to like fight these aliens and like learn this other culture and become a gladiator there. And there's all this politics and drama, and he falls in love with this alien prince. Um, it's a whole thing. I don't know if I'll get around to telling his story, but at the very least, I know what, whoops. Oh, my threshold needs to be. There we go. I know what his story is, so it's gonna be really helpful. All right, so there's that. We have these little tassels here on the side. Wait a minute. Oh, that's why. Okay. There we go. Vandally says, oh, blah, but there's my comics like 8 months old, so maybe I'll get better at drawing. Um, yeah, you'd be surprised how quickly you can improve in a relatively short period of time if you know, put your head to it. I've found that progress is not linear. It's not a linear, diagonal line. It's more like artistic progress is more like jumps, like big jumps, and then plateaus, and then jumps. Hot Sauce Kiddo says so much world building. I mean, yes, and but also think about it this way, right? A lot of these characters are remixes or derivatives of other characters. I'm kind of mashing them together, or you know, working on them from another angle. At a certain point, once you've consumed enough fiction, and I'm sure you all live and breathe fiction because, we are in the golden age of streaming TV and comics, and like there's just a lot to enjoy right now, fiction wise. But if you put enough of that in your head and you're thinking about it, like stories, um, it's just gonna come out of you naturally. If you could just trust your instincts to be like, okay, I have a cool idea for a story, and then just chase it down, you'll be surprised at how much awesome junk you can come up with, and then your only problem will be like, how much time do I have, and how much of this can I actually make real? Because there's too much stuff in my head, and I'm not gonna get around to all of this. At least that's my problem, and a lot of creators I've met, that's their problem. Too many cool ideas, too many cool stories. You have to perform triage and choose which ones are most important to you, or which ones speak to you the most, or I guess which ones you think will sell or something like that. There are many reasons to choose one idea over another. Vandally says, my main superhero is just me, but with superpowers, because I was like 4 when I created him, just a teenage superhero in like 9 years. I decided to finally draw him, decided to make my own comics. Um, yeah, no, I've found that a lot of the stories I make are, in a sense, autobiographical. We can't help but draw from our own lives and tell our own personal stories, because I mean that's the story only you can tell. You know what I mean? That's the story no one else has the power to tell well, right? You know your circumstances and your foibles and what's interesting about your day-to-day life, and the things that nobody notices about you, or you know the things that you notice which maybe nobody else notices. um, and these are all things that feed your story. So I'm not surprised if you're making a superhero story or whatever, and you find you find lots of yourself in it, right? Okay, that guy's done. Let's move on. We have a lot to get through. Let's go to the werewolf character. Oh no, 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 let's go to this lady. Oh, she's so cool. I love her. She makes me think of like Destiny from the X-Men, which means I can't use those colors. I gotta change her up. I like the idea of her being like red, like super red. And she's far enough from this main character in the middle that I can sort of do that. Because I don't want two similar colors to be, dragging to each other. My other problem is, one second, it's not filling 100%. There we go. That's what I want. All right. Color drop is what trips me up here and there. But she's cool. I think of her as like, ooh, maybe not that white. Off white. Pro tip from my time oil painting. Whenever you can avoid it, don't use white. Don't use pure white, and don't use pure black. Always keep them in your back pocket because you'll want to use them when you get to points of emphasis. The eye is attracted to. The eye is always attracted to areas of highest contrast. So, your whitest white, that's a superpower. That's where you want to put it. You want to put it down where you're going to find focus. And that's why a lot of painters, when they, especially representational painters, when you look for white in their painting, it's usually like a highlight on the nose, blink, or like a little like glint on the eye, a specular here and there, um, because that's where they want you to look. So, and this is not white, as you can see up here. It's sort of like a grayish yellow, but next to the red, it looks pretty white. So, this is actual white. See? So I can get away with using this without too much trouble. And I think she's also yellow. Not yellow. I like reds. Let's just give her reds. Right? She's like a war creature. Let's give her reds. Here's more red. I think her name is War Spectre or something like that. Anyway, she's a ghost, but actually she's a robot. She's a robot ghost. And she's prophesized. She is from some apocalyptic end of the world story where humanity is like dwindling. There's like really small pockets of survival, and the world has been raised by machines, right? Because people screwed it up. People made machines in their image, and all the flaws of human beings came out in the machinery, ultimately, the algorithms. It became very destructive. Ooh, this reminds me of the dude who tried to recreate. Um, Sorry, this is like a huge tangent. I think I've had a lot of coffee today, so it's all tangents. But there was this dude who, programmer, right? When he was a kid, he had an imaginary friend that was a toaster oven. Oh, wait, no, it was a microwave, right? And he would talk to the microwave and all that stuff, right? So, anyway, as an adult, with programming powers, he decided he would recreate his imaginary friend. And so he bought a smart microwave, kind of like the Internet of Things, like Amazon Alexa or something like that. And then he trained an AI And the way this works is you feed the AI information, right? So he trained the AI on his imagined backstory for the character, which included like um, coming from a land where there was like a war, but the character is like noble and sweet, and then comes out. Anyway, the AI got trained on all this like fantasy backstory for an imaginary microwave. So we had a microwave that he started being able to talk to and was talking back to him and everything like that. Anyway, long story short, eventually the microwave goes nuts and like asks him to step inside. So the microwave becomes murderous and tries to kill him. And he was like, I wonder why that happened. Why did the AI do that? And it's because he programmed it with you know a lot of conflict. And so ultimately it became a creature of conflict, and that's what it ended up doing, conflict breeds conflict until there's nothing left but death. So we gotta like think about that when we're coming up with machines. Anyway, this lady War Spectre is from that world, and she's from that future. She comes to the past and all this other stuff. She's in this crossover. She's got her own book. It's very like a Vertigo book or whatever, like super adult and mature and all that stuff. But obviously, it's a crossover, so we can have everyone here for this moment when we meet this character. I don't like that cape. It should be red. Other interesting thing about red, right? Red is a value 5 on the spectrum of values. Is say 0 is white, pure white, and then 10 is like a pure black, right? It's a value 5, and if you get any lighter, it turns into pink. So red as a base color is usually very dark compared to other colors. Okay, I like that, but I want a little shadow here. I'm also gonna do like base shadows, but oh no. I'm also gonna do base shadows for this, but it's good to get some details in while we're in flats. It'll save me some time later on. Okay, that's her. Now let's go to the werewolf dude, who's over here. And by the way, we have all these other characters still to get to, so I probably won't get to everyone during this session, but we'll do our best. And hopefully by the next session, the next time I do a live stream, I'm going to do the shadows and stuff, and you can see how cool this looks once we apply some tone to everything. This wolf is cool. He's a white wolf. Clipping mask, boom. And again, we're not going to use pure white. We're going to use an off-white here. And I like a purple off-white like that, something like that. And it'll still look white. See, there. Let me see what's going on in the chat. I have a lot of stories and things I want to draw, but I have them in my head and I haven't drawn them yet. Do you like more Marvel more than DC? I see your short where you go to the library comic session and draw. Yeah, I love doing that. I love going to the library to draw. Do I like Marvel more than DC? Please don't ask me that question. It's hard to choose. I love them both. I love them both, and I don't want to play favorites. I'm working on Zombie Apocalypse book. Microwave. Hey, I heard about that. It's your original idea. No, it's not. It's a news report. It's real. Hot Sauce Kiddo says you should do Germinator, Andrew. Oh yeah, let's do Germinator. Wait. Let's finish this werewolf dude, and then we'll go to Germinator. Germinator somewhere here in the background. We'll get to him. Yeah, this werewolf dude. I was thinking I wanted a Werewolf by Night style character, John Jameson, the son of J. Jonah Jameson, the news reporter, the evil news reporter dude from Spider-Man. He's not evil, he's just misguided. Um, but anyway, he's an astronaut, John Jameson, the son. Sorry to be confusing. And he goes to space. He goes to the moon, and in the moon, he goes through some. He finds this amulet or something like that, which basically turns him into a werewolf when comes back down to Earth. So that's his drama. He's a werewolf by night. It was one of those horror comics from Marvel in the 70s. It's also one of, I think it's the first Marvel book drawn by George Perez. It's really cool. Um, I love George Perez. You should all know him. Uh, Rest in peace. But yeah, okay, we're done with the werewolf dude. Merge down. I think Germinator is like in one of these last layers. Here. There we go. That's Germinator. That's super layer 5. So let's go there. And I'm pretty sure I set up some colors for him already. Here we go. So these are the colors for Germinator. So actually let's just build a palette here. To build a palette, you just press plus up here. Boom. You create new palette. Let's go there. And then I want to just select the color I like, put that in there. Select another color, put that in there. Select this third color, put that in there. Right. And then there we go. That's our palette. So let's go back. This is page 23. It's obviously in progress. So we'll get that. We'll get to that. I just want the cover done before we, move on. All right, clipping mask. I'm pretty sure the base color is this thing, so we'll do that. And then we're gonna go with the face thing here. Germinator is a character I made when I was 17. He's sort of a swamp thingish type character. He is a superhero in the vein of like Warren Ellis's Authority, that kind of like ultra violent, revisionist, political type of super person. He comes to the world and basically cures all disease. He cures like AIDS and cancer and everything, right? And it causes all this like drama with pharmaceutical companies who try to like they're losing business, so they try to kill him and everything. And spoiler, um, during that process, it is soon discovered that he is not human. He's actually like a sentient colony of germs that can control other germs. So the story becomes this whole eco drama thing, right? Um, where we get to talk about man and what he's doing to the planet, and like, is he a germ? If you look at the planet Earth as a human body, are we being destructive to it? Are we a cancer on this world? Or, you know what I mean? Do we deserve to be here? Is there overpopulation and like resources and all this other stuff? So it's a whole exploration. I was 17. I was incapable of following through on all of that. I mean, I was not very informed. I had a lot of cool ideas, but they weren't very well thought out. But anyway, I wanted to bring him here because here's a superhero comic, and I wanted to have all the superheroes I can muster. So this is Germinator. We love him. He's made of germs. uh Moon Knight appears there, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, Moon Knight does appear in Werewolf by Night. What's your favorite kind of superpower? What's your favorite character you made? Superpower. Telepathy. I think I like telepathy because I feel that it is the solution to most of the world's problems. If we could read each other's minds, if we didn't have to struggle to communicate with each other so clumsily, you know, if we could just feel what the other person feels, and if other people could feel what you feel, like I think we would be more compassionate to each other. I think we would understand, we would have a different understanding of why something is important, right? Because I think things are important to people on different scales, and it all comes down to what we can't articulate was what we can't articulate, which is our feelings. So anyway, I think telepathy is my favorite superpower. I think it's an interesting superpower, and that's why Professor X is my favorite superhero. This guy, boom. He is a man with big ideas who doesn't always know how to communicate them. But I think he's an interesting character. What is your, huh? What's your favorite character that you've made? I don't know. I don't ask me that. I can't choose. Okay, so Germinator's done. Let's go back. Where am I? This is super layer 5 merged down. I'm gonna switch this layer off to avoid confusion because it's just too many. I'm having sensory overload. We're done with the werewolf dude. Okay, let's go to super layer. Fine, let's go to this layer. We're gonna go with detective alien over here. Oh wait, there's super layer 4. Let's do super layer 4 first. Yeah. Let's do super. This lady is like Silver Surfer, except she's gold. How do I do that? Clipping mask. Boom. So I can make this happen. Oh. Okay. I'm on the wrong layer. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, that's it. Except she's gold, and then we're gonna put like gold highlights and stuff on her. So the thing with gold is you gotta get, it doesn't quite look gold until there's some brown. Or I guess orange. Brown is just like a darker, less saturated orange. Hot Sauce Kiddo says, I bet you were excited when Patrick Stewart appeared in Doctor Strange. Oh my god. That was a moment. Especially when they played the Uncanny X-Men theme, like from the Saban cartoon, the ta na 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 na. Oh my god. I went nuts. I mean, you know, I behaved myself. We were in the theater, but like deep inside in my heart, if you could telepathically read my brain, there were explosions going off in my poor brain. Okay, see ya, hot sauce. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. Oh, cool. There's like a bunch of people watching now. That's great. Thank you for coming. I hope you guys are drawing along. I hope you are coming up with some cool shit as well. This is I think this is one of the more fun things to live stream because there's so much stuff on this cover. It's like I have 88 characters. Um, so there's always something new to look at. It's kind of nice to just bounce from thing to thing. Okay, there, and then we do highlights. There. Yellow highlights. And I think she's called the Stellar Surfboarder. That's what she's called. See what I did there? It's like Silver Surfer, right? But I like tweaked a few parameters so it's like less like Silver Surfer. She's the stellar surfboarder, and she's not a herald of some cosmic entity. I've changed up her story a bit, but she is an explorer of the ultimate ocean, right? The depths of space. And she's going beyond where humans have ever explored, and she's finding all sorts of weird space things. Yeah, I think that those are my favorite Silver Surfer comics. No, I think Silver Surfer works really well as a character that can like look at humanity and like make some commentary. But equally, I love it when his stuff is just like Star Trek. It's like an episodic exploration of like space, weird stuff going on in space, strange creatures that experience no love, um, or or think differently from us. Maybe they exist outside of time and space and view reality in a different way. And it's just like a trippy journey through alien worlds. Yeah. So that's the kind of comic I want the stellar surfboarder to go through. We're gonna do some effects with her. I'm probably gonna do some color holds too later on, but like this is the flatting stage, so I don't need to do much more than this stuff. So we will leave it at that. Boom. All right. Now we go to this lady here. Um, yeah, I think of her as like a. I think of her as like a female Thanos. To give her a little bit of purplish skin. Boom. I forget her name. She has a cool name. It's not Grape Princess, but you know. But it's something cool. And now that I've made her skin purple, the big problem here is if I put some yellow, it's gonna start looking like Thanos. So I can't do that. So now I have to swerve color wise. Maybe to keep with the sort of super villain mode, we give her an eggplant color scheme. So here's some green. Whoop. But she's not a supervillain. She just looks like a supervillain. In the same way that the Hulk is eggplant colors. You know, eggplant colors are evil. Lex Luthor, Joker, Hulk. Um, but just because it's eggplant colors, like the Hulk, doesn't mean it's evil. They can be good too. Don't judge them by their color. So that's her. And I want to give her some accents, and I can't do it in yellow. So we'll do it in sort of like, what do I have here? I have a whole bunch of color palettes. We're going to give her maybe a greenish metal. So we'll do that. Yeah. There we go. Something like that. Looks good. That works. And then her power signature. Her power signature should be, I guess, purple. Let's do it pink. See, and now that I'm making all these decisions in flats, it's gonna make it so much more easy later on, because I'll have a simple, you know, color scheme that I can play off of that reads, you know, it's like Spider-Man, red and blue, with some white and like webbing, and it reads from like a distance, right? I feel the same way with all these characters. If they're gonna be effective, they've gotta be simple and readable from a distance. So she's super tiny, but you'll know it's her because of all this stuff. Because we took the time to give her a simple color scheme and didn't overcomplicate things. John Falloon, welcome, welcome, sir. Hello, hello. Are you looking forward to September? Because I am. I'm excited for September and classes restarting at the league and seeing all the people who don't usually attend during summer come back for the regular session. That's gonna be so great. Anton Arcane. Well, there's a disturbing character. Do you know he found Christianity at a certain point? Anton Arcane is a Swamp Thing villain. He's the father of Swamp Thing's love interest, Abigail Arcane. He's evil. He went to hell. He died. He possessed Abby's boyfriend and like had all these flies and all these horrible things going on, and it was just terrible. It was super terrible, and then he was sent back to hell. He was sent to hell. He stayed in hell for a long time. He reformed briefly, but because he is you know, a Swamp Thing villain through and through, he became bad again. And then there's this whole thing with Rot World, which I don't 100% understand if I'm being honest with myself. Um, but I think he became the avatar of Rot or something like that. Was he eggplanty at some point? I don't know. I feel like Anton's never had a proper costume. Okay, there we go. Eggplant lady. She's done. She's done. I'm gonna give her a lighter pink to make her powers sort of like that. There we go. Make it look like some truly powerful powers are coming out of her lovely non-supervillain hands. Okay, there we go. We're done. Whew. This is a marathon, guys. This cover is just, it's so much work. It requires so much patience. Okay, let's merge that down. Merge down. Boom. All right. So those guys are done. Oh, let's color this guy. This guy here, who is the, I don't know what to call him. Dolphin. I think he's the Dolphin Dude or something like that. Ooh, Dolphin Dude's a good name. It's kind of nice comedy character. Dolphin Dude. Dolphin Dude, here to save the day. There we go. Very easy. We'll give him some flesh tone here, where his mask peeks out. And then we give him some highlights. So I like the idea of him having some kind of pattern. So we will give him a cool pattern. Just in color. I didn't draw it out because he's so small. He's like super tiny in the whole cover that, you know, at this point, like more black lines will just make things confusing. So we'll give him his pattern this way. Boom. Dolphin Dude. Silver Phantom's asking, the cover page can be its own poster too. Do you have a guess price of what the comic will be? I don't. I would like it to be the price of a regular comic book, you know, maybe $5 or you know, four or $5, something like that. But it depends on how much it costs to print. And I don't have those numbers yet. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what the final page count will be. Because I want to put some back matter in it. You know, I want to I want to make it a really cool package, especially since it's gonna be a while before issue 2 comes out. I'm not gonna be able to do this monthly, you know. I might have to release issue 2 maybe next year, like early next year. Um, you know, if I'm lucky, because I'm kind of doing this in my free time. It's not, you know. So anyway, we'll see, we'll see. But my guess is hopefully $5. That's what I'd like it to be. Uh, John Falloon asks, "How do you get so much done while also working a job?" Uh, my immediate joke answer is coffee. So, but like to take your questions seriously, my gosh, that's hard to answer. So, I guess part of it is when I first moved to New York, I had this idea that all New Yorkers were hyper caffeinated, super scheduled, and always moving around and doing a lot of things. And I wanted to be a real New Yorker. I wanted to emulate that. So um, that's what I did, you know. I hyper scheduled my day. I would wake up, I'd do gym, I'd do go for a run, and then come back, and then go to work. Um, Back then, I was a janitor, so you know it was like a lot of menial work, which I really enjoyed. I think it's super fun to when people look at that stuff and go, "Ew, I would never want to do that." But man, it's just so. Once you know what you're doing, it's nice to just work like that because you can just turn off your brain and you know get stuff done with your hands. It's really satisfying. So I was doing that. Well, let me not stray too far from the question. Um, so I guess I'm just habituated to it, right? I'm habituated to the idea of like always keeping busy and doing a lot of stuff. Um, but I think if I'm trying to come up with a maybe a helpful answer, right? To the question, how do you get so much done? I guess one of the things I would recommend is to not second guess yourself too much. Because when you second guess yourself, it slows you down. So try to be decisive and try to just do stuff. Even if it's bad, even if it's blah. You know what I mean? Um, I think this guy's starting to look like Strider Hear You. Am I pronouncing that right? Did I just butcher something again? Um, my surefire way to get started on a comics page is to make the ugly version of it, right? I just do stick figures or whatever. And that gets me really far. Because once you put something down, once it's out of your head on paper, even it's in its ugliest, like, you know, crudest form, it's something you can work with. So you can just move forward from there. I think it just speeds the whole process up. So, yeah. Um, and if you don't second guess yourself, you don't have to spend too much time backtracking. You can just move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And I find that increases your speed. Um, Now, sometimes it leads to thoughtlessness and accidents, and I have had my share of those in New York. I've been on crutches for months because of a running accident, or I left my wallet on the bus, and then I ran after the bus, and I caught the bus, got my wallet, but broke my foot in the process. So dumb stuff happens, you know. But anyway, yeah, I hope that was a helpful answer. I don't know if it was super helpful but rambly, but you know, uh, that's how I think you can get more stuff done. That's how I get stuff done. Uh, Question. Gerald asks, "How do you draw your backgrounds? I think that's the most time-consuming part of making comics. Do you have shortcuts?" Um, yeah, reference. Reference is a good way to. People undervalue this because when we're kids, we have this idea that comic artists just draw from their mind all the time and, never look at reference, but really, reference speeds things up a lot. So if you can just pull from details, you can start. It's hard to remember and pull stuff from memory. So yeah. Reference. The other thing I'm looking at is, oh my god. So I don't know if you guys are reading the current Batman comics or the current Daredevil comics, both written by Chip Zdarsky. But the artist on Daredevil is Mark Keketo, and the artist on Batman is Jorge Jimenez. And if you look at their backgrounds, the buildings, especially the buildings, they look like they've been done in some 3D program. And I'm still trying to figure out what that is because I think that's a good shortcut. They do it. It looks like it could be. Is this the right layer? Yeah. It looks like it could be SketchUp, and if it is SketchUp, my only question is where do they get their building models, right? That's not the best choice for that. Or it could be Clip Studio, where I know Clip has a lot of like uh, building assets, but I just don't know. I don't know what files they're using and why the buildings look so nice and complicated. But they throw it into the background with like a line filter on it, and then they just draw the figures in front of that. So that's one of the shortcuts I want to figure out. Other shortcuts is this thing right here. Once you've established a background with like I did in the third panel of this page, right? You can kind of do away with it for the rest. Just make sure you've established the background at least once in every page. Like here, this is horror. This is crazy. I referenced a photo of the Philippines to get this drawing. I think I referenced like two photos, but yeah. But you'll notice here, like the rest of the backgrounds just are left to implications. Like here, I've sort of drawn it out because, you know, but here it starts to get foggier. Here is a whole cemetery scene, but it's like implied, right? But yeah, try to draw it once really well on the page, and then you can kind of get away with just implying it for the rest of the page. So yeah. By the way, sorry spoilers for the comic, but that's my answer to the background question. Silver Phantom says, "I want to make a comic. But I'm bad at drawing people, so I've been practicing, slowly getting better." I feel you, dude. Um, you'd be surprised though. It doesn't always have to. I think I was talking to John about this at some point, right? It doesn't always have to be the prettiest thing. Comics is storytelling, and sometimes you can get away with very minimalist storytelling. Stick figures do a lot of work on their own. If you can tell a whole if you look at XKCD, which is like really complicated and like um, science based comics that relies a lot on dialogue, but like he gets away with stick figures. So that's also an option. Your artwork doesn't, and I'm not saying draw stick figures, but like your art doesn't have to be the prettiest, most amazing thing. And sometimes that's a downside. With this book, because I've chosen to like try to do sheeny shiny superhero style. Oops. Um, the art takes a lot longer to make, so I can't get to the story as quickly as I might like to. I don't know what color his arrow should be. Maybe yellow. Yellow. Okay, it's yellow. It's been decided. He's the yellow arrow. Which rhymes. Blah blah blah. Cartoon characters like Cuphead. Easy to draw. Yeah, I love that. I love the Cuphead style. Yeah, that's super fun. With characters like Cuphead, it's very shape oriented, and if you really want to get the appeal of the style, I say pay attention to the line weight. Pardon me. The line weight is way thick on the outside and then thick thins depending on like what detail we're on. And that makes it super appealing. And it's not that much more work. You just kind of draw the whole thing and then, mess with the line weights to make stuff look better or worse. Cuphead. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm trying to find a color for this dude's pants. Maybe this thing. Let's do that. Yeah, that works. Yeah, that works. Okay. I'm good with that. You guys are really helping me, by the way, because this whole since I'm teaching next week, I'm gonna have to be drawing while talking. So this is a little bit of practice for me as well. It's kind of hard sometimes to hold a thought while you're working on artwork. That looks better. Okay. Boom. Maybe something there. There we go. Now he looks like a proper character. 3 colors. Tricolor scheme. Neon Flamingo asks, "What age did you start getting into art?" Gosh, I've been doing art as long as I can remember. Yeah, pretty much. But like here in the comic, this character's sort of like me, right? And I'm thinking I'm about 6 years old here, maybe 5 or 6 years old. Kids always draw, and I think human beings for the most part are natural artists because when you look at kids, they do love using crayons and paper and drawing and all that stuff for the most part, right? Some of them might just super hate it and not touch it forever and like this is not for me. But a lot of kids, most of them I think, take to art like a duck to water, a fish to water. And I just think we get insecure later on. Like we grow up a little bit and um, we feel like our art doesn't look as good as some of the other artists we're looking at, and people might judge us, or we get distracted by other interests like sports or I don't know, math. Some people love math. A lot of people love math. And then you stop making art because we gotta choose. But yeah, all that to say that I think everyone's an artist deep down inside, and it's up to you whether you want to nurture that or whether you have the time to, whether you're in the best place in your life to nurture the artist inside you. I also kind of want to be sensitive because some people are not in the best of situations, economically. I know what it's like to worry about how to make rent or, have to take care of someone and you're not sure, I can't like lay the burden of finding your true inner artist while you're, worrying about how to feed a baby or something like that. Uh, but, I do think there's an artist in all of us waiting to come out if you can find it in yourself to be able to nurture that. So I think this woman has purple hair. Let's give her purple hair. Oh yeah, I remember this. This is the tiger. This is the tiger lady. This is I think her name is Tiger Mom. So it's not purple hair. She's all orange. Let's orange her up. Tiger Mom, martial artist. She's like I guess like a Batmanish type character. I think she's cool. Oops, that orange is too close to this red, so let's move it up a little bit and lighten it up. Now it looks too yellow. I want it dark. Now it's kind of brown, but that works. Okay. Even darker. It's so much easier to mix colors in digital. All right. That's it. That's the color. Where was I? What was I talking about? I forget now. Oh, what age did you start getting into art? Yeah. So, yeah, I was thinking maybe 6 or 7. But I've been drawing my whole life, really, as far as I can remember. My vivid memory is around 6 years old. I was drawing. My mom would bring home these papers from the hospital, like scrap papers. They were like receipts and medical documents and stuff, but the back would be like the front would be printed with all this stuff, but like the back would be free. So we would be like drawing on the backs of these medical papers, and I was drawing with my twin brother, which is like a fun thing. We were just doing, and then like I drew a Spider Man, and it looked like Spider Man, and I remember being like, "Wow, oh my God!" Like showing my twin brother Tony, I drew Spider Man. Look, look, and like he was like, "Oh yeah, that looks like Spider Man." Like it really looked like him. It was an accident. But like by that point, I was like, oh my God, what is this feeling I feel? It's like the thrill of being an artist. So I doubled down. I fell in love with the act of making art, and I just kept drawing since then. It's just been a thing I enjoyed. So yeah, interest takes you a long way. John Falloon, I sent that XKCD comic about the bomber peak around some people I've been working for. They weren't as amused as I hope. Well, yeah. Happens sometimes. Vandally says, teaching, wish I could be in your class cause you're awesome artist. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna post about it on Insta. It's actually a virtual class, so you might be able to sign up if you can make the hours properly. So but like I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. I think her staff needs some stripes. We'll give her some tiger stripes. I have one friend that's like 7 years old. He's like 6 years younger than me, and we were once drawing together. He didn't care about how it looked that much. He just drew and made his own story. Yeah, exactly. Like that goes back to what we were talking about. Where less like try not to second guess yourself. Just go for it. Or as I say, like just make the ugly version, right? Once you make the ugly version, you've already made something, and then it's up to you to decide if it accomplishes your goal or if you need to spend more time like making it pretty to really sell it or whatever. But by that point, it's so much less work, or a little more work, but it's so much less work because you've already have it on paper. You can't trust your brain to keep all this information. The human brain is made for coming up with ideas, not storing information. We are terrible at storing information. All right. Okay, I think I'm overdoing Tiger Mom. I'm just gonna leave her at that. Tiger Mom, Tiger Mom. She's a mom and a tiger. All right, done. Who's next? hmm Let's merge that down. I'm saving layer space, which I don't think I have to because I'm on an M1 chip, but I'm saving space by merging layers as I go. So, but there's a lot still. There's all these layers, and then there's like all these sub layers up here. I have all these folders. Um, all right. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see how much more I have to do. Oh, that's still a lot. Well, we'll get to it. Boom, boom, boom. Let's do this lady here. Imaginon. Now I have colors for her already, so when in doubt, go for the easiest thing. And right now the easiest thing is a character I already have colors for, so let's go back to the palettes. Let's choose this color and put it in there. Boom, boom, and Boom. All right. And I think her gun is that color. There we go. Boom. She is a character from Kare Comics that has made it into this whole saga. So I'll give her her time in the sun. Is that her? That's her. All right. What time is it? 4:30. I think I can do maybe a few more minutes. So let's let's get through Imaginon. Oh, did I get her flesh tone? I feel like I didn't. Oh yeah, that's her flesh tone. It just looks wrong. See, colors look weird next to other colors. Like it just changes so radically. Imaginon. Her name is Marca Pina. She's from a Downton Abbey style world where it's sort of a religious drama, right? But there is a cataclysmic event in Kare Comics which causes stories to bleed into each other, and her world becomes overrun by robot aliens. And these robot aliens basically kill off all these drama characters who have no combat experience, right? So it becomes a whole shit show. But she is saved. At a certain point, she gets out of it and like learns to be a combatant, uh, and saves herself. So she grows a lot in that story, and she ends up taking part in the final battle, and it's all she now she's doing all sorts of cool stuff, like being here in this story. Let's give her that thing here. There we go. Her hand, and then her kris, which is a traditional Filipino sword used by our pre-Hispanic ancestors. Except this one's gold because story reasons. She's using that, and she's using this other thing called the meta gun, which is used by Mang Tomas, the story hunter in the story. He is the guy who's like dealing with all the meta problems going on in the the world, right? And he teaches her how to use it. So that's what she's doing. She is Mang Tomas, the story hunter, is blind, but he's able to see using his imagination, and Imaginon is doing the same thing here. That's why she's able to wear this blindfold, because she's using her imagination to see things in the world. Because she knows she's in a story, which is super meta. She's a meta character. She's like a Grant Morrison, Peter Milligan, like that type of character. Which is cool. I'm glad we have Stellar Surfboarder here, and I can steal some colors from her gold surfboard for this kris. There we go. Save myself a little work later on. Okay. John Falloon says, being a good storyteller can take you a long way even if you don't draw like David Finch or whatever. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, really, look at indie comics. Look at the wealth of styles there. Um, Freaking Jeff Lemire, look at his work. Oh my god. Uh, I, I wouldn't call his art beautiful or like super, skilled, but his storytelling is so good that once you sort of get past the first few pages, there is a momentum that carries you through his work. He's just so good, Jeff Lemire. And he's fast. Because he chose an art style that's not as demanding. And also just because he's super disciplined, right? Clipping mask. Mandley says some people I know are just like, oh, I don't know how to draw, but I always say it's about creativity, not about how it looks. Exactly. And it might be, but only because they see it that way. Sorry if my English is bad. Your English isn't bad. You sound great to me. Um, yeah, let's I'm almost ready to wrap this up, so let's get this skull dude done. I forget his name. Oh my god. I promise you, everyone here has a name. I just cannot for the life of me remember everyone's name because of the number of characters. At this point, it's just so many. There's like 88 on this cover. It's ridiculous. In a good way. That's what we want. I wanted the effect of it feeling like a whole universe with that quantity of crazy, right? So, yeah, this guy's sort of like my Ghost Rider Deadman character. He's I guess a trapeze artist who dies in an accident and becomes this psychopomp. So he lives in the afterlife, and he helps souls that have passed on find their place in the afterlife. And he's sweet and he's friendly and he looks terrifying. Just as well, you know. And I wanted him to have like a simple design, so there we go. Just the white skull. Let's give him some of that here too. And let's put some orange in there. Some darker orange. So it's more visible. There we go. That looks about right. He looks sort of like a Punisher Ghost Rider-ish type character. Alright. Okay, so Andrew, I'm almost done with the Essential X-Men Volume 8 Claremont run. I'm stopping after this book though. You gotta tell me where you're at. Oh my god, I don't even know at what point is that. That's way past the John Byrne era. If you're past the Asgardian Wars, yeah, because at a certain point, like Claremont starts to get really didactic and weird. So, um, that's good. That's a lot of X Men to read. I love X Men. It's good stuff to have in your brain. So yeah, I think that's it. That's an hour and 30 minutes. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Uh, I hope you drew something while watching this. If you're watching this after Sunday, hello, thank you for watching. And yeah, I'll be back next Sunday to do some more streaming. So yeah, have a lovely weekend, guys. Peace out. Thank you for hanging.